Hey guys, so today we'll make a tier list for the next tier of NFTs, the $30 to $100-ish NFTs. So above the marketplace, or the power-ups. And you can see some of the prices here have changed. Crimpexter and Lemon Shark were in the $10 to $30 tier, but they've moved up a bit in price. So we will start with the chicken suit. The chicken suit gives us +1 feathers. The problem with feathers is they aren't very useful right now, and they're pretty cheap. You can use them in the composter if you have the skill for it, and then they can be okay, but other than that, they don't really have much of a use. So it's a big boost, but it's not very, they aren't very good, so we'll put this in D. It's either probably D or F, to be honest, for the price. Next we have Ayam Cemani, and this increases our eggs, and we've had a couple boosts that increase eggs before. We had the rich chicken, and then we had undead rooster, sorry. So this is about the same as undead rooster. You get undead rooster give us +1, this gives us +2, and the prices are about the same. So I forget where I put the other one, but it's somewhere in the middle here, probably like B or C. I'd probably put in B, I guess. Freya Fox, this gives us +0.5 pumpkins. That's a big boost to pumpkins. Pumpkins are pretty useful, they're used in a lot of different things. But this is a pretty expensive boost for pumpkins, because pumpkins are like one of the cheapest crops, so getting more of them isn't gonna change all that much. But it's like I said, it's a pretty big boost, so I'd probably put it around B as well. Battlefish, this is probably just gonna be an F. Getting more oil is good, but I think I put night chicken, which gives us +0.1 at D. And that was a third of the price and gave us twice as much oil. This is just terrible. The reason it's probably so expensive is because it's probably low supply, yeah, under 200 supply. Next we'll move on to Radical Radish. Radical Radish is a 3% chance of +10 radishes. So that's, I think, effectively like a +0.3 radish boost, which is not bad, but not amazing. There's a combination of Radical Radish, Potent Potato, and Stellar Sunflower that all comes from mutant crops in the potion house, and these all have pretty low supplies. That's why they're so expensive. They aren't necessarily amazing, they're okay, but I wouldn't rank these very highly. I'm going to probably put this at C. Next up we have Merino Jumper. Merino Jumper is effectively the same as chicken suit, but it's from merino wool instead of feathers. Merino wool is a more expensive resource, but the problem is you don't really want sheep. You want more cows than sheep. It's probably also a D. It's a big boost, but like I said, you just don't want sheep normally, so you want to fill up your barn mostly with cows if you're going to be like using the barn. So right now it's not very good. If merino wool starts being good in the future, this could move up in the ranks, but currently it doesn't have much of a use. Tin Turtle. Tin Turtle is not great. It affects 8 different stone plots, so it only gives +0.1. We had the tunnel mole before. It gives +0.25 to all of your stone. This has a 10,000 supply. Tin Turtle has a much lower supply. That's why it's more expensive. It's not the best. It's probably either C or D, to be honest. It's probably D. It's pretty expensive for what the boost is. Next up we have Soybliss, and Soybliss gives +1 to all your soybeans. Soybeans just traditionally aren't very expensive. It's a big boost, but soybeans just always feel like they don't have much of a use. I'm going to put it either in B or C. It's more expensive than the Freya Fox, but I find pumpkins to be more useful. I guess I'll put it in B as well. Banana Amulet. So I've talked about bananas before, and bananas aren't in a very good spot right now. You don't really want to be farming many bananas. It's a big boost, +0.5 is a big boost, but you, like I said, you don't want to be farming bananas very much, and it's a pretty expensive SFT. So I'm going to put this probably in either C or D. I think D, just because, like I said, bananas aren't very good. Next up we have Grape Pants. So before we had Vinny, which was a +0.25 boost for grapes, and this is only +0.2, and it's also a wearable. so that makes it harder to fit in, even though pants, there aren't that many pant boosts. But either way, it's not the best boost. I'm going to put it either in C or D. It's one of the lower value greenhouse boosts that you can get. I think I'm going to put it in D. There's going to be a lot of lower tier, lower ranked SFTs in this video because a lot of these are more expensive because they have lower supplies. Okay, so King of Bears, this gives an increase your honey by 0.25. It's a pretty strong boost, but we had a different one before that gave plus 0.1, and it was a lot cheaper. So this is much more expensive, but not that much better. I don't remember where I put the other one, but this feels like a C kind of SFT. It's not amazing, not terrible. Getting more honey is always good. People run out of honey all the time, so getting more honey is good. Next up, Toxic Tuft, plus 0.1 merino wool. This is a terrible SFT. It's so expensive because there's only 70 supply, but it's definitely an F. No doubt in my mind. Hungry Caterpillar, another F. Once again, lowish supply, so that's why it's so expensive. Getting free flower seeds. Flower seeds are already pretty cheap. The 1-day flower seeds are 16 coins. So if you have 3 flower beds and you're planting 1 seed a day on each one, it'll be saving you like 40 to 50 coins a day. It's not very much. Definitely an F. Rock Golem. So Rock Golem is better than Tin Turtle because it affects all your rocks. Or all your stones, sorry. It's a 10% chance to give +2, so it's effectively like a plus 0.2 boost. So it's not as good as Tunnel Mole, but better than Tin Turtle. So I'm going to put it in C. Next up we have Blackberry. This is a big boost for blueberries, but like I've been saying, a lot of the fruit, including blueberries, aren't in a very good spot. It's a strong boost, but it's pretty expensive. I think I'm going to put it in C. Knowledge Crab. So this doubles your sprout mix boost, so it makes it go from, I believe, 0.2 to 0.4. Let me open up sprout mix. Yeah, 0.2 to 0.4. So that's not a bad boost, but it means you have to actually use your sprout mix, which is kind of a pain. And then it also means that you have to have sprout mix, which you don't always have sprout mix. So this is like a 0.2 boost to some crops sometimes. It's probably C-ish, maybe B, somewhere around here. It's not bad, but it's kind of annoying to have to use your sprout mix in general. And so next up we have Potent Potato, which is a 3% chance of plus 10 potatoes, which is effectively the same as Radical Radish, but for potatoes. I think this one's actually worse because potatoes aren't as expensive, so just getting more of them isn't really going to do as much, and it's twice as expensive almost, so it's probably either C or D. I'm probably going to put it in D. Next up we have Genie Lamp, and I'm honestly kind of surprised this is even in the boost tab. I'm pretty sure how it works is like you click on it and you get an item, and it'll tell you here, it says things you can get: Genie Bear, Pirate Bounty, Pearl, Pumpkin Salad, Goblin Brunch, and Sand Drill. So like some not amazing food, a couple things worth coins, and some collectibles, sand drills. Nothing there is things you want. This is an easy F. I'm pretty sure everyone who buys this thinks it's good, maybe, and then regrets buying it, but this is such a trap item to buy. I can't believe anyone buys this. It's like I said, it probably shouldn't even be in the power-up section. It's just terrible. Mysterious Parsnip, minus 50% parsnip growth time. So this is a very strong boost, but the problem is parsnips are always selling for super cheap, so they aren't really worth all that much. They're always selling for like less than their vendor price. So they're good to get coins. They're not amazing to get SFL. But like I said, it's a very strong boost, so I'd probably either put it at B or C. I'll put it at B, because like I said, it's a very strong boost. Rocky the Mole, I'm pretty sure this is our first iron boost. A strategy a lot of people do is just focus on iron and ignore stone, because iron is pretty good to get profitable. A lot of people need iron. So this is a strong boost. I'm going to put this up at B. Stellar Sunflower. So this is like the potent Potato and the Radical Radish. Once again, expensive because low supply. I'm going to put it at probably either C or D. Probably D as well because it's about the same price as the Potent Potato. Sunflowers are super cheap. Next up with Mootant. Basically the same thing as Toxic Tuft. Slightly better because you have cows more often than sheep, but it's still very expensive for the price and definitely an F. Heart of Davy Jones. So Heart of Davy Jones gives you extra desert digs, and if you have things like the Ancient Shovel down here where you get free digs, then it's a very good SFT to have, and it's still not bad. It basically means you never need to buy extra digs, but the problem is like giving you 20 more is a lot. You basically never need to use all 20. So it's a good SFT to have, but it's definitely not mandatory. I'd put it like at C. Next we have with Maximus. Very good with the other eggplant boost that we talked about in the first video. If you're stacking a bunch of eggplants, Maximus is very good to have. It's more expensive than the Soybliss, which effectively is the same boost. But I'm going to put it either at B or C. Probably C, because like I said, good boost, but pretty expensive. Next up we have Woody the Beaver. Woody the Beaver gives a plus 20% wood boost. There's 3 beavers in the game. This one's the first one. It just gives a 20% wood boost. The next one gives a 20% wood boost and minus 50% tree recovery time. And the third one gives the same 2 things, plus it makes you able to chop trees for free. So the first one isn't amazing, but it is a percent boost, which stacks with one of the skills in the game, which is Tuft Tree. So if you have both, it gives you, they're multiplicative with each other. So that's a good thing, but still not the strongest boost. I would put it probably at C. Next up we have Oil Can. The default mining for oil is 10, 10, 30, so the average is, I believe, 16. So this increases it by quite a bit. Oil is hard to get and you need it to expand and stuff. I'm going to put this probably at B because it's a lot stronger than the other boosts we've talked about, like the Battlefish. Next up we have Olive Shield. It's a strong boost. It's good to focus on like one greenhouse crop and make that one greenhouse crop as profitable as possible. So if you want to go with olives, problem with Olive Shield is it's a wearable and it takes up a wearable slot. So it's probably either B or C. I'm going to put it at C. Cluckulator. It reduces the feed for chickens. Chickens are already relatively cheap to feed, and making them cheaper isn't going to save you a ton of SFL per day, but it's nice to have. This has gone up a lot in price. I'm surprised it's so expensive, to be honest. Like I said, it's nice to have, but it's not amazing. I think I'm going to put it at C. Sir Goldensnout plus 0.5 crops in an AoE. So it's a 4x4, but this takes up, so that's 16 slots, but this takes up 4 of the slots, so it only affects like 12 slots. So it's essentially plus 6 crops per harvest. Strong boost to have, and it affects everything, but not amazing. It's probably about the same as Knowledge Crab, but Knowledge Crab is going to give you 0.2 per, and if you have 60, that's going to give you like 12. So it's actually not as good, but it affects every harvest where Knowledge Crab won't. So it's probably about the same. It's probably about a C. Cabbage Girl. So I didn't speak about this in the last video, but if you have Cabbage Girl as well as Cabbage Boy, it increases the boost from Cabbage Boy. I'm surprised it doesn't say it here, but by default Cabbage Boy is plus 0.25 cabbage. If you have Cabbage Boy with Cabbage Girl, it changes the boost from Cabbage Boy from 0.25 to 0.5. So getting them together is very strong. Minus 50% growth time on cabbage is a very strong boost. It's like the same thing as the Mysterious Parsnip. So I'm going to put this up at B as well, just because it also boosts Cabbage Boy if you have both, so they're very strong together. Milk Apron. Milk Apron is plus 0.5 milk. Very strong boost. We talked about the Longhorn Cowfish at plus 0.2 milk. This one is obviously twice as good, but it's like 3 to 4 times more as expensive. I think I'm going to put this also at A. I think that's where I put the Longhorn Cowfish. It's either A or B because it's not as good because it's so much more expensive, but it's still very strong, and milk is a very, very good resource to be accumulating. And then finally, at the $30 to $100 SFTs, we have Sunflower Shield. Sunflower Shield is another easy F. It makes your sunflowers free. sunflower seeds free. And when I say that, it doesn't mean you get unlimited sunflower seeds. It just means that when you're buying sunflower seeds from the shop, you don't have to pay the 0.01 coins for it. So it's going to save you like 9 coins per restock or something like that. It's almost nothing. Terrible SFD to have. And once again, it's only so expensive because the supply is 68. If the supply was 500, it wouldn't be worth anything. After initially recording the video, I realized that there was going to be too many SFTs in the final tier list, so I decided to make this one go up to 150 instead. So first up we have Crimstone Amulet. Crimstone Amulet prevents drift by itself. It's going to just prevent it from getting later and later throughout the day, the time you mine your Crimstone. If you get it with the Crimstone skill, then you can get it down to about 16.5 hours, the cooldown on Crimstone. So depending on your sleep schedule, it can be quite good. But for $100 to just prevent drift, maybe to help you get it twice in a day, it's not amazing. I'd probably put it in either C or D. Personally, I would either take the Crimstone Amulet or just grab the skill. I sleep more than 7.5 hours a day, so it doesn't really work for my schedule. I bought this when it was a lot cheaper, so I'm just using it instead of the skill. But if you have the skill points to use, just take the skill. I'm probably going to put it in D. It could be in C, but next we have Hummingbird. It's a 20% chance for +1 flower. Getting additional flowers is always handy, but for $100, this is quite expensive. I think I'm going to put it in C because, like I said, it's nice to have, but not amazing. Okay, so Crimstone Carp, definite F, plus 0.05 Crimstone is almost nothing. For the price, it's not very good. The reason why it's so expensive is because of the low supply. So definite F. Scarecrow, maybe the best SFT in the game, at least for the price. It's disabled. It disables the Nancy that you had earlier, but it also gives you plus 20% crop yield. It's actually amazing because it's 20% of all crops, and it reduces growth time. So getting Nancy early on is good, and then upgrading it to Scarecrow is what most people probably do because it's such a strong SFT. Grape Granny, +1 grapes. Basically the same thing as Olive Shield, but for grapes. I'm going to put it in C, just like Olive Shield. Black Sheep Onesie, +2 wool. This would be good if... This is a very strong boost, like I've said about the other +1 boost, but this one's +2 actually. But the problem is wool just isn't very useful, so I'm going to put it in D. If wool gets better, this could move up a lot, but currently wool isn't very good. So my guess is this is as expensive as it is just because people are hoping that wool is useful in the future or something. Sheaf of Plenty, +2 barley. That's a huge boost for any crop. This current chapter we have a +2 wheat item available. This was the item from the previous chapter, and it is quite strong. Barley is used for right now just for feeding animals, so it doesn't have a lot of uses. I'm probably going to put it in B or C. It's, like I said, quite a strong boost. You don't usually see +2 of a crop. It's not very common. So next we have Hornet Mask. Hornet Mask is good if you get a lot of cooldown reductions on your honey production speed, like with Queen Bee, where you could be getting multiple honeys per day, and then you could like stack a bunch of increased chance to get bee swarms. But by itself, it's not amazing. The default chance is 10%, so this is just giving you another 10%. I'm probably going to put it in I'm probably going to put it in C, maybe even D, to be honest. It's nice to have, but unless you're pumping out a bunch of honeys a day, then it's not amazing. Like I said, if you like combo with Queen Bee, then it probably moves up, but by itself, it's not amazing. Next, Tomato Clown. Like I've said, tomatoes are in a good spot in the game right now. That there's many good uses for them, and this is a very strong boost to have. I'm going to put it in B. The reason why these things aren't moving up higher than that is just because like they're quite expensive. Like $130 for any boost is pretty expensive. Farm Dog's an F. You just don't really want sheep right now. Once again, low supply, and it's pretty old SFT. People like dogs, I guess. So, but people just don't want sheep right now. So definitely F. If she get better, that can move up. So Gnome, how it works is you need this Gnome, and then you need Cobalt and Clementine, and you put them in blue, red, orange next to each other, so bro, and then you'll get +10 medium/advanced crops to the plot directly below this red Gnome. So it only affects one plot, but it's a strong boost for that one plot. You could compare it to like Goldensnout. This is plus 10. This is plus 0.5 times what did I say, 12. So this is plus 6 for your yield. This is plus 10. So it's probably about the same because it's more expensive. I'll probably put it in C as well. It's either C or D, to be honest. I would pick up Goldensnout first because Goldensnout also affects all crops, not just medium and advanced. Next up is Golden Spatula. Golden Spatula is either S or A, depending on how much you value experience boosts. Experience boosts are very strong. Like I said, they multiply off each other. So I'm probably just going to put it in S because it's an experience boost and it affects all food. Parsnip. I don't know why this is so expensive. Parsnips are pretty cheap in general. Oh, there's no supply here. Weird. If I open it again? Nope, no supply. Weird. I think the supply is pretty low. Like, you could get a plus 20% carrots for $3, plus 20% parsnips for $140. I'm probably just going to put this in F. Parsnips usually sell for pretty cheap on the marketplace. Most people are just selling them for coins at this point, I think. I'd put that in F. I wouldn't go after that. Then we have Camel. Camel's quite strong. It works. It helps you get more coins, but coins aren't amazing. Like, some people, like, depending on the boost you have and whatnot, you might not even need coins. Like, I have over 100,000 coins, and that's not even counting the stuff that I could be selling at the shop in the desert. So it's a nice boost to have, and it's quite a strong boost, but coins just aren't mandatory for everyone. So I'll put this in C. So finally we have non-La Hat, and this isn't listed up there because I guess just no one's selling it right now, but it would definitely fall within this category. If you see the recent sales, like, this is within the $30 to $150 category. So this is the same thing as the Olive Shield and Grape Granny, so I'm just going to put it up in C as well. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet. It would help me out a lot. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Have a good day, guys.